With the Redfin app, you'll know the moment your next place hits the market, whether you're looking to buy your dream home or rent a sweet apartment. Give Redfin your gotta-have-it wish list of property features, and you'll receive real-time notifications tailored just for you. Ready to see it up close and personal? Scheduling a tour is just a tap away. Don't wait to find your perfect match. Download the Redfin app and start searching today.
Welcome back to Hot Takes and Deep Dives, and my next guest is one half of the podcast Seek Treatment. He's a writer on one of the best shows on TV, Hacks, and he just celebrated his birthday at Catch as a reference. Hi, Pat Regan.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
How was Catch?
Well, it's a little embarrassing because, I'm in LA now, so my birthday was on October 31st, and so I did go to Catch on November 13th, and I said it was for my birthday, but it was it was 13 days after my birthday, and I did my own birthday thing in LA. But I already knew I wanted to see, because I'm not in New York anymore, I wanted to see my New York friends, and I wanted to do dinner, so I said it was for my birthday. But then it got too real, because then when people were putting cards in, someone's like, "You're not paying, it's your birthday." I was like, no, this can't be I've made you all come to Catch on a Monday night, and now I'm you're paying for my meal. But it was good. I enjoyed the meal.
Here's the number one question.
Yeah.
How was the food? What did you order?
We kind of did it was kind of just a bunch of things for the table. So I couldn't remember what we ordered. So I never knew exactly what I was eating, but it was good.
Was it busy at all? It was a Monday night?
It wasn't super busy, but it was a Monday night.
Do you think the whole Roni...
It got us there.
got you there.
I'm not making a reservation at Catch if not for Roni.
I think in the end, this is the best thing that ever could have happened to Catch.
It definitely is. Here we are sitting here talking about Catch.
We never would have been.
I don't think that we would be sitting here talking about Catch. I would wager an enormous amount of money that we wouldn't be talking about Catch. I didn't watch the new New York for a long time when it came out. And so I just binged it all in the last couple weeks. So I was very in the Catch space.
Where did you land with the new run?
I have to admit I had low expectations coming in. So I liked it. I really liked it. I was talking to friends the other day, and I kind of assumed everyone liked it because it feels like it's been doing well, or people have been talking about it. But then the friends I was talking to were like, "Oh, we think it's bad." But I was pleasantly surprised. I felt very invested, and it's also freeing when you watch it the way I did, where it's months after, because you're kind of not part of the cultural conversation and you can just enjoy it, which I think I've been having trouble with. I started watching Housewives, OC season 3, New York season 1,
in real time.
I was in college, and I was like, this is incredible, and it was so much fun. It was so much escapism, but now the culture around it sometimes is harrowing to me, and I'm I was just trying to have fun, you know what I mean? So to watch it and remove yourself from the cultural conversation chronologically actually kind of helps, and it just feels like I'm not trying to have takes on this. I'm not trying to whatever. I'm just watching some women be upset, and that's all I want from it.
Do you think Jenna will be back?
I hope so. I found her very endearing, and she was probably my favorite.
She's really the only thing I liked about it.
Yeah, I liked Brynn, which the person I was talking to didn't like Brynn. Yeah. I thought that she had, I don't know if this will get me in trouble, some notes of early Bethany, who I still miss. Early Bethany. I miss her every day.
What did you read the Variety article that came out where the chairman of NBC Universal talked about the 3 shows Bethany pitched Bravo right before the reality reckoning?
No. Oh my God.
These were the shows that Bravo passed on.
Okay,
from
tell
Bethany,
me.
which I think sent her into a spiral.
Yeah.
And that's this. We're now watching the fallout.
Yeah.
The first was a televised version of the podcast, or kind of I think she'd have
a talk show, essentially.
Talk show where she would interview housewives.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's Watch What Happens Live, babe.
Yeah.
So no. Second one was Real Housewives of Connecticut, or maybe Real Housewives of Greenwich.
And would she be on it?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm making that up, but I'm saying probably not.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, what was the third one?
Yeah, no one needs that.
Another bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I have to say,
no, I just remembered it.
What?
This is the most insane one.
What?
A camp a quote unquote camp for children of the Real Housewives.
No.
Shades of Ali Shapiro going to that camp.
Oh my, yes,
1.
yes, on Bobby's dime.
On Bobby's private plane to Martha's Vineyard.
You know, I have a story about Ali. I guess I'll share. I don't think it's fine. I think I'm the one who looks crazy in it. But I went with a group of gay men to Miami for New Year's last year, and so we kept doing. It was when like the last season of Miami was airing, and it was like the Lenny Lisa drama. Like Miami was very in the zeitgeist. So we were all watching Miami, and we were in Miami, and so we kept doing this bit with each other that was like, whenever someone went to the bathroom, like when they would come back, we'd be like, oh my God, like Larsa and Marisol were just here. Like, oh my God, they were just here. You just missed them. And like, because he kept doing it, you should have figured out like, oh, this is a lie. But when it's happening to you, you do believe it. You're like, oh my God, like I can't believe I missed them. Like, where are they? Like, I have to go see them. And so then we went to this like ticketed gay event, as you do. And it was like neon party, gay men, like whatever. And I'm walking through and I see Ali Shapiro at this gay event. And now I'm in the position, and I'm alone. And so now I'm in the position where I have to go to my friends and be like, after we've been lying to each other the whole time, be like, Ali is here. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, for one, that's a weird version of the bit. Like, we're doing Miami Housewives. And for two, like, I don't believe you. But so first I had to make sure it was her. So I did the thing where you just yell the person's name and see, like, I was like, Ali! And to see if she would respond.
Wait, is that a thing?
It's a thing for me.
What other celebrities have you done this with?
Melanie Linsky.
Where were you?
This would not sound like a bug, but it was after the Emmys, and I wasn't sure if it was her or not. It was like, Melanie! And then she turned and I was like, I love your show. Outside of the Emmy Awards.
That is deranged.
I know. But I guess you don't know if it's them, but it's like they will, like, even if they aren't trying to talk to anyone, like if you just hear your name like out of context, you will turn a bit. So it's just a test. So I did that. She turned. I was like, oh, that's Ali. And I came to her and I was like, Ali, oh my God, like I'm a huge fan. Like, which is like, what am I talking? Like, I'm a
fan
huge
of what?
I know, of you being Jill's daughter. So I'm a huge fan of you being Jill's daughter. And she kind of like, I will say, and this is my fault, I just shouted her name. I'm this bizarre gay guy at this gay party. I, to this moment, have no idea why she was there, but she was there with her boyfriend, and like, she kind of like wouldn't quite engage. Her boyfriend was like, she's really overwhelmed. Like, it was kind of like whatever. And I will say she seemed very off put by me. And I was like, no worries, don't worry. It's like whatever. So then I found my friends who are, they have more on-screen credits than me. So maybe a bit more familiar to her, and I told them that she was here, and at first they didn't believe me, and then later I found them in the crowd again, and they were talking to her, and she was so engaged with them, like so whatever. And then I came up and I was like, Ali, like these are my friends. And then she once again like turned her eyes to her boyfriend, was like, you need to leave. But it was still a wonderful time. But you know what my favorite show of all time is?
What?
Big Shot with Bethany on HBO Max.
I swear to God, that comes up on like every other episode of this show.
You really? It was.
I interviewed
so
the producer of it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It was my favorite show that came out. It was made for $600. $600 were spent on the entire production. Like, it was wild. And like,
wait, if you like that, then you would like Stylish with Jenna Lyons.
Oh, I'm sure I would.
Jenna Lyons had her own version of that.
The part of the charm to me was like, who is the adult in the room here? Like, what is going on? Like, there was one elimination where, like, because Bethany would just bring, like, she would just bring, like, 9 more people into the condo. And, like, they're in the competition now. And I'm like, what? Like, who are these people?
Remember when she called Brynn for advice on who she should
yes.
fire?
And they were, like, the people were standing in her kitchen, like, near the counter island, like, waiting to be eliminated. And she was, like, talking it through. And she's like, yeah, and then it's, it could be, like, Ashley. But you know what? It's not. Ashley, you're fine. You could go upstairs. You're not going to be eliminated. Like, there was no ceremony to it at all. Like, it was so wild.
And there was hype at the beginning of that Dorinda was going to be on. And then, if I'm remembering correctly, Dorinda was just on the phone.
I think she was like at an event that they were like doing. I think she was like at an event, but like certainly wasn't part of the story, and certainly wasn't like.
I think for a while Big Shot with Bethany was off of streaming, but now recently, after I brought it up again, somebody told me no, it's back on Max.
Oh my God.
So this is minute to minute update. I don't know where we are right now.
Well, I follow Maloxy, who won the competition. I have to say, sometimes she doesn't appear to still be working with Bethany, but
I don't think she ever really did.
I don't know that she did either. And she did post this story one time that was like, it wasn't even close friend. I'm not on her close friends, obviously, if she does even have it. But like, she posted this story that was like, I'm in Virginia, heading to New York. Let me know anyone out there can give me a ride. And I was like, Malaxi, you cannot be Instagram hitchhiking to New York. So it just, I don't know that it was like the fairy tale ending that it seemed like it might be.
Now that the strike is over, are the terms satisfactory to your liking?
Yeah, I will say, like, I started working in TV in summer 2020. So, like, I'm pretty new. Like, when people talk about how I was broke for so long that to me, I was like, to me, I was like, this is great. So, like, I don't have that much of a point of reference for, like, obviously I don't want AI to take my jobs away. Like, so it seems like that was covered. I just read a thing about the SAG strike, and some of their deal points are like, I shouldn't say there, I should say ours, because I am in SAG as well. But some of the AI deal points there I thought were a little bit questionable. And I was like, I don't know if this will pass, to be honest. Like, I don't know. The strike was one of those things where I was like, I really should feel like I know more about these things, and I don't know that I do. But I'm kind of new to the biz. But I think if you were like, I think the residuals helps. I don't think it'll be as good as it was. But like, I know I'll talk to people that used to write for like network, and they'll be like, you would get a residual and you could like buy a car. And that is not what I've gotten like one residual, and it was for like $200.
From what I understand, like this isn't necessarily strike specific, but in terms of the money that's going to the writers or like their livelihood, it seems like the model that streaming adopted, they adopted that straight from the UK, which I know from, like, I remember I got into some BBC show, like all of their shows are like famously, even like Queer as Folk, the UK version is like 7 episodes and you're done. Like that's, so obviously those writers, those are such short-term gigs.
And they do get paid, even their rate for, I've worked with UK writers, and it's like, their rates are not good compared to ours. Like, it's brutal. Even putting aside the shorter whatever, like room length, like just what they're getting paid for the work they do is like a lot less.
So obviously you write for Hacks. Oh, so I want to know regarding Hacks, where were you in the writing of season? Were you weren't filming yet? Were you?
No, we were. Oh. So we had written season 3 ending in maybe like last fall. Like, I think it's probably been exactly a year since they started filming, and then filmed through the spring. They shut down for the WGA strike, and obviously then they had to still stay shut down for the SAG strike. So they're still in the middle of shooting season 3. I think that's okay to say.
Okay.
I think it's okay to say this. I'm in the blink and you'll miss me, but I have a scene in season 3 that I'm excited about.
I heard about this.
From who?
You, I think you said it in your podcast. I don't know.
Cool.
You said it somewhere.
I'm like, I hope it's okay for me to reveal this. Like, you've been talking about it all over town for a long time now.
It's something like is the character named Pat, or is it like based on you?
No, but it is a gay person. It is a gay person, and that's all I can say. And the other thing I can say is I look really tan in the footage, which I'm excited about. I recently went through a phase of being kind of addicted 2004 style to like tanning spas.
In the bed?
In the bed. I know it's so bad, but I did it once, and then it is so addicting because like it feels so good to be tan.
I haven't been to a tanning place since the pandemic, and that was like, I'm never doing that again.
I think many haven't gone since the aughts, since it's like so bad for you. But I didn't really tan my whole life, so I'm kind of like, I probably have like 1 year of like tanning. You know what I mean? To make up for like 15 years of not tanning.
Before something bad happens?
Yeah.
There's somebody in your writer's room who I have been obsessed with for years.
Who?
Carol Leifer.
Yes, dear friend.
Tried to get her on the podcast many times. I mean, she has no idea who I am.
I'll tell her about you.
Won't do the damn show. Like, every message gets ignored.
Yeah.
So she wrote on Seinfeld.
Yes, famously Elaine was based on her.
She is known as the original Elaine. She wrote on Modern Family. She wrote on she has so many credits. It's insane. She's written for the Oscars, which that's not really a brag. She's written on so much stuff. But the reason why I really love her is I've read both of her books.
Oh, yeah.
She's a late-in-life lesbian.
Yes.
And now she's been with her wife for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. I love her. Yeah,
I love her too. She's the best. She makes me laugh so hard.
Is Deborah Vance really based on Joan Rivers?
I wouldn't say like a one-to-one. I think she's more of like an amalgamation of like a few different Joan Rivers type people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those kind of women who were in comedy that were so funny and got kind of like, even if they made it and got successful and got rich, like never quite got the respect that perhaps they would get today, or like were kind of passed over for opportunities they should have had or things like that.
Do I have you to thank, well, I guess you and Carol Leifer, for just how gay the show feels?
I don't know. I mean, I will say like there's very few like straight male, there's very little straight male energy in the writer's room. And there's a lot of queer writers. Andrew Law is a very funny writer who's gay. I'm outing him. Guy Branum is a very funny, he writes on the show.
Best.
Yeah. And then Ariel Carlin, me and her co-wrote the Lesbian Cruise episode in season 2.
In my notes is about the Lesbian Cruise.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed that you wrote that.
Well, it's so funny.
That's the best episode of the show.
I feel so much discomfort when talking about like your episodes, because like it is, I've been in a few rooms and obviously they all do it slightly differently, but Hacks really does feel so collaborative, and like, but I never feel like more ownership over that episode than I do the other ones. But then like that, you get like attached to that one, or someone sees your name on it, it's like, oh my god, I loved your episode, and then I get some kind of weird fraud feeling like, oh my god, I'm taking credit for other people's work or things like that. But thank you. It was a really fun episode to write. And I also think like the queer sense of, I think the showrunners are just really receptive to like everyone's voices in the room, and I don't think every room is like that. And so like that, I think, goes a really long way as well.
Do you have any idea why the room on the other two was okay? I guess the answer is yes. So toxic.
No, I wasn't there. So I don't know.
Like, I guess I'm trying to imagine, like, how bad could it have been? Like, were they like screaming at writers?
Yeah.
And if so, like, why would you scream at her? Like, that's not going to make a writer produce something.
I know. I genuinely don't know. But I do think you hear all sorts of different things, not just about that show, but about a million writers' rooms. And I just always think the best comedy, I think, comes out of like when people are having fun together, or like at least not miserable together. I think it's so rare that you'll be so miserable, like, and write something really joyful and funny. I think that is very rare that happens. But I mean, great shows have had crazy hours, so it's not like impossible. But I think there's diminishing returns at a certain point. Like, yeah, because you hear a lot of shows that I love have famously toxic writers' rooms.
Which ones?
One, I think that people talk about the Community room as being like really, really hard.
You had said that you've always wanted to write for a TV show ever since you saw the Dawson's Creek finale,
yes.
where it's like he becomes the showrunner for his own like melodrama.
The Dawson's Creek series finale is like one of the best things that's ever been created.
Walk everybody through it.
Do you know it personally?
I loved Dawson's Creek. I haven't seen the finale since it aired, though.
Totally. So Dawson's Creek ended by basically there was like kind of a fake series finale, which dealt with the timeline that the show was in. And then there was a 2-part series finale afterwards that flash forward 5 years. And and everyone was in different places in their lives. No one was together anymore. Jen had a baby. Michelle Williams' character had a baby. Jack, the gay guy, was teaching at their high school. Pacey was still in the hometown, but he was like a chef that was like always always kind of a Lothario with married suburban women around. And Joey was like not with either Pacey or Dawson, whatever, but they were all coming back and Dawson was a showrunner for basically Dawson's Creek in Los Angeles. And then they were all coming back for Dawson's mom's wedding because his dad had famously died earlier in the series by being in a car and then licking an ice cream off the cone and then bending down to pick up the scoop of ice cream while he was driving and like kind of driving off a cliff. So because that happened, Dawson's mom was now getting remarried 5 years later. And which, by the way, I'm positive that's how I'm going to die. I'm going to die how Dawson's dad died. Lick ice cream off a cone while I'm driving, bend down to pick up a scoop and drive off a cliff. Anyways, so they all come back for Dawson's mom's wedding, and like no one's seen each other for a long time. And like I remember there was this scene where like they're at the wedding and they're kind of switching dance partners in this way that's so symbolic because it's like that's what they've been doing their whole lives, is just going back and forth to each other. Jen goes to the hospital and learns that she has like a week to live. And she gives this amazing, I mean, Michelle Williams does such a good job. She gives this like, I'm like getting emotional talking about it. She gives this speech about how she never feels like she quite fit on the creek, and she doesn't know where she's ever fit.
She never really fit on the creek.
Yeah, I mean, her arrival was kind of the inciting incident of the series.
100%.
But anyways, when Dawson was on his way to his mom's wedding, he was running late to his thing, and he like walked through the writer's room, and they were all throwing around a cooch ball, kind of debating who Joey should end up with, Dawson or Pacey. And they were like, "What do you think, Dawson?" He's like, I think you guys are onto something. I got to go to my mom's wedding. And I was like, wow, like they get to decide like who she should end. And I wanted to know so badly who she should end up with. So I was like, that is so cool that they get to do that.
Did you watch Felicity?
I didn't, but I should. I don't know why I didn't.
You absolutely need to watch Felicity. Get the box set immediately.
Totally. I loved the box set. I loved a box set growing up.
You need to get the box. Do you have a DVD player?
I don't.
So it's very important. You're going to have to buy a DVD player for this because all of the music has now changed. Even if you buy it on iTunes, and the music in Felicity is one of the most important things.
Yeah, I got to do it.
You have to.
I've always wanted to.
The finale of Felicity is brilliant.
Did they know it was ending?
Yes. Because the fourth year is...
Oh, there's 4 years? I thought there was 2 because like, she got a better haircut the second year and it ruined everything.
That's the most famous season and the most famous thing to happen, but no, it's 4 years of college.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
You have to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know why I never did because I was obsessed. I think like when I was growing up, like high school felt so tangible. Like even I don't even think I was in high school yet, but I was like, yeah, this is like what high school is like. But college felt so far away that I was like, I can't connect. You know what I mean?
I specifically went to, or like knew I was going to go to NYU because of Felicity.
I wish I went to NYU, but I didn't.
Where'd you go?
I'm like embarrassed of it. A school called Loyola in Baltimore.
I have friends who went there.
Yeah, a lot of Long Island people.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't come out until you were 25.
Yeah, me neither. But
how did that happen?
I don't know. I guess I couldn't accept it. I was like, I gotta figure it out. I guess I'm slow to accept a reality, and I'm like, this feels too hard. Like there has to be a way around it. And I just was desperate to find a way around it, and I couldn't. And then but my voice didn't used to be quite like this. I used to speak more monotone and like
do an impression.
I can't. People have asked me to try, and they're like, "You're just talking how you speak." But it's funny, you know. I was home because I'm from Long Island and moved to LA, but I'm here for shows. And I went out to my parents' house. Some of my high school friends came, and I haven't really because I came out and then like in the thick of like alcoholism and addiction and then that to be TBH like made it worse. Like I just was out for like years then.
Wait, so you came out at 25. When did the problem with alcohol and drugs start?
It's hard to say when it starts. You know what I mean? Like probably around college, but it's progressive. So it's not like I didn't even consider that it was a problem until maybe I was 26, 20, or other people probably started telling me it was a problem around 25 or so, or like 27. I tried to get sober, but didn't stick. And then 28, I got sober and it stuck. In the aughts, like it just felt like a witch hunt. Like everyone's trying to figure out who was gay and like absolutely destroy them. And it's like a witch hunt where you know you're a witch, and so you can't. It just was scary, and I didn't want it to be true. And so I don't know. I just tried to act like it wasn't for as long as I could.
My friend, who is also a writer and a stand-up, she said to me yesterday that she has a bottomless pit for external validation.
Yeah. And
so I'm wondering, is this the disease that all stand-ups have?
Probably. I certainly have it. I think not even just stand-ups, like anyone in entertainment, I think, has this like need for... And then the industry really enforces it, obviously, because you do just feel like you're waiting around to get picked. And I think it attracts people that are desperate to be picked by someone. And so, like, it's like a cycle.
How did you get the writing job on Hacks?
I had done stand-up for a long time. I did UCB for, like, that was kind of my gateway. Because I had never considered, like, though I wanted to write on TV, I didn't even understand how that would even happen. And, like, I never considered myself a performer. I didn't do theater at all. I think I truly read Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, and she was like, I did improv in Chicago. And so I started doing improv at UCB. but not even really thinking it would go. And I did feel honestly really good at improv, and I will say I think I'm really good at improv. And at the time in the aughts, I felt like that was, the industry goes in such cycles, I felt like that's where people were getting kind of like discovered. That kind of shifted more to stand-up, so then I started doing more stand-up. And then through that, I got like reps. So then I was like, I want to write for TV. I told my like agent and manager. And so like I wrote a sample and they started sending it out. And I had a few meetings. I met for the other two, season 2, didn't get the job. And then I remember I met in the spring of 2020, I met with like the Hacks showrunners, Girls 5 Eva, and Human Resources. And I thought I killed every meeting. And I remember thinking like, this is going to be so hard. I'll have to like decide one. And then I found out I didn't get any of them. And I was like, oh, cool. But Hacks like came back around. But I think like it was just having a sample with the right voice that the right people liked. I'm really grateful to Paul, Jen, and Lucia, because it does feel like they just gave me a chance, because I like had no credits at all. Yeah, but I just remember feeling like I had to have like a million stakes in the fire. Like, was doing the podcast, was doing stand-up, just trying to do everything I could to like, it feels like you have to almost try to get famous
to get a job.
Just to get a job, yeah. And I wasn't, but you have to at least have certain people know who you are and know that people think you're funny. You know what I mean?
You just mentioned your podcast. So Seek Treatment is your show, and you do it with Kat Cohen,
yes,
who I've seen perform at Club Cumming. She's hilarious. It was so fun. I went with Ben Rimmelauer, who you know, and after the show, we were talking about how it feels like a cult in there. Yeah. It's like the cult of Kat Cohen.
Yeah. She has she's so funny. She's the funniest person in the world. She has like very loyal people. I do think having a podcast, maybe you experience this, it's like, it really, the kind of fan you get from a podcast is like different. It's like really, it can be really intense.
Well, they know your most intimate
thoughts. Which I have like a
Yeah.
shifting relationship with, actually. As I get older, I'm like, you know, when we started the podcast, I was like, I would do whatever it takes to like get something in my career. And now I'm more like, well, I don't know if this feels great that everyone knows this thing about me, or like, I don't know how much of my personal life, when things change in my personal life, I don't like for other people to know it. And like, so it could be tricky, but they're very loyal. So like those people go to Club Cumming, and like, I get like nervous to do New York shows. Like I was scared I just did Chelsea Music Hall on Sunday, and I was scared because like, I'm like, they know all my material, and like, I feel like a fraud or something. And I see they'll like laugh at the setup and things like that. Or even when I go on the road.
Were you doing old stuff?
I was doing like oldish. I mean, I was doing an hour, so it was a mix. And like, I've been in LA for a few months, and there's some new stuff there. But like when I even posted the promo, that someone commented and was like, "Saw you in July. Will this be new?" And I was like, I don't know. We'll see what happens when I get there.
Before we got on mic, I made the brutally honest confession that I've wanted to interview for a while.
Yes.
And I told my friend, I want to interview Pat Regan, but we have to do it in person.
Yeah.
Because I can't deal with whatever mic he uses.
Yeah.
So my number one most burning question for you is, what is up with the audio on Seek Treatment?
I know. I think it's a mix of like, we do it completely independently. Like there's no, and like I know you do too.
This is independent.
I know.
What's happening right now is going to sound great.
I know, but we're just, that's not our personality. Like we can't, you know, I mean, Catherine more so than I. She's more able to do it than I. But like, I don't know. I get the mic that like I'm told to get, and like, I think during the summer we recorded them a bunch in Catherine's apartment. The AC was on. I think that affected it, but it was hot, and like, I don't know. But we're on a hiatus right now because we're changing some stuff. So hopefully the audio will be better when we come back.
But you said like it's so weird that LA isn't in New York.
Yeah,
like it would be so much more convenient, and I feel the same way.
Who made that choice?
If LA was like LA should be like where Staten Island is. Like have it be, because that's far away.
Have it be its own thing, like kind of like when like, you know,
but still just an hour away.
Right, like when like, you know, the like a in-law little house in the back. An in-law suite. That's what LA should be.
Part of New York.
Kind of its own separate entrance and exit, but like easy to get to when you have to. One reason I moved to LA was because I was like, because rooms were going back to in person, and the last job I got, I had to like hardly get a sublet, and it's like so stressful. It's like there'll be less travel, I think, in LA, but there's still always so much flying across the country. I can't.
Where did you live when you were in New York?
I lived mostly in Brooklyn. My last year I moved to Inwood. Like,
Oh.
yeah, I was like very into running, and I was running like 90 miles a week, and I needed I have a long relationship with like competitive running, and I kind of wanted to take like one last crack at it, and I wanted to go somewhere where like I could really do that. And that was like the best place in New York to do it. Yeah, it wasn't the right choice either. I don't make like great decisions.
Have you run the marathon?
No, I was supposed to run in 2012. I was in like very, very good marathon shape, and then it was canceled for Sandy. I was about to like shatter from addiction and coming out, and like, yeah. And so when I got sober, it's always been like a little bit on my bucket list. And I was in really good shape last winter. I ran a really good 10-mile race, and I thought I could PR in the half marathon, which I ran my best half marathon when I was in like the best shape of my life. And I thought maybe in the spring I could run a little faster, and then the fall, like run a good marathon. But my body kind of broke down a little bit, and I was just like, I'm just going to keep going on this cycle of like starting to run, being chill about it, and then being very like intense about it. And then my body breaks down, and then I try again. And it's like, I've just done that for like 15 years. And I was like, I think I've gotten what I needed out of this. And now I'm trying to like lift weights a lot.
You've transformed your body.
I'm trying to. Not enough.
And it seems like I feel like this is a transformation.
I know, but I would like it to be a little more transformed.
You want to bulk up even more?
I don't need to be huge. Like, I don't need to be huge, but I do. Yeah, it's really, I will say, like, when I first started running in high school, it's so fun because like it's completely new stimulus, and like you get so much faster every single week, and like, and you think that's going to happen forever. And then when you're like, you know, after 10 years, it gets really hard to get better. And so I'm very aware this time that it's like, oh, this is my first year really focusing on lifting. And so I am getting stronger every week. And I'm very aware that won't happen forever. So I'm trying to enjoy it. But I really enjoy the athletic part of just, I benched this much last week. What can I bench this week for the same reps? And then of course, as a gay single person, you aim for a certain aesthetic sometimes. And so I don't need to be humongous, but I want tits and an ass. You know what I mean?
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand your concern. You know what you have to do.
What?
Eat more.
I know, but I am. I'm eating more than I've ever eaten.
Do you track your macros?
Of course.
Add 50 grams of protein.
I eat 200 grams of protein a day. I'm only $1.50.
Bump it up 25 and then another 25.
No.
This is your nutrition counseling for the interview. You want to get bigger, you have to eat more. Going back to Seek Treatment, I love your theme song.
Oh, thank you. Catherine did it like in her closet one day.
It's so great.
Yeah.
And it seems like in the early days, you had a segment where you'd basically like advise somebody if they need to seek treatment or not.
Seek treatment, honestly, like we did it because we were looking for a title, because it was like 2018. It was like, you have to have a podcast. So we're like, let's start a podcast. And we were good friends with Matt and Bowen, who do Los Culturistas. And I had just been on Los Culturistas, and I kept doing this bit where I kept telling people to seek treatment in that episode. And that episode is called Seek Treatment. And then we just called that up, and we just decided on that title. And we would like
that's amazing. That's like your Real Housewives of Beverly Hills into
yes,
Vanderpump
it was
Rules.
It was a
moment.
backdoor pilot. It was
it's
a backdoor
pilot.
Yeah. And I don't know if we had a segment, but we would often pepper it in, like whenever someone would bring up something annoying, we'd be like that. And we don't do that as much anymore, or at all. So the name doesn't mean anything anymore.
Have you ever performed on a gay cruise?
I've never performed on a gay cruise, but I have performed at a gay resort.
Is this the fated Dominican Republic thing?
Yes, they didn't like me there. The crowds didn't like me.
Was that that was a gay resort?
It was like a Club Med that was taken over by like a company for the week to be gay.
Why is being gay so embarrassing?
I know. It was really interesting. I want to get booked again, but I don't know if they will, because I did absolutely bombed. But
you did stand up?
I did stand up for an hour. I did one 1 hour show on like, we got there on Saturday. I did one 1 hour show on Sunday, and then stayed till the following Saturday. So it was like a full week. And I had to walk around this resort of people who thought I was like such a bad comedian.
So how did you handle it? How did you show your face around town the rest of the week?
Oh yeah, but I did an hour at what I would call a dead silence. Afterwards, down, it was like, wow, like Hillary Rodham Clinton, what happened? The book, and then this guy came up and he was like, hey, like I get your whole deal, by the way, like I have kids who are 29, 31, so I kind of get everything you did up there, and I loved it. And then the next day, I was there for 1 week just by doing one show. It was heaven. I was swimming in the pool. I swam by him, and he was like, there's my favorite comedian. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, how are you? He's like, I'm great. I've been talking you up all over the resort since everyone's been saying they don't get your humor. Like, okay, cool. Thank you so much. And I had these two friends that I made. They were my best friends for 1 week. It was this older gay couple. I can't stress enough that I talked to them for hours every day. I at no point knew what their names were, and I never will. They were very like, it was really fun because it was like a top and a bottom, and only the bottom. It was like, you know when there's two cartoon characters that are always together, but only one of them talks?
Oh, Jay and Silent Bob.
They were kind of that, but like it was that, but only one of them would ever talk. And he loved Hacks, but he wasn't like, at one point he told me he never knew anything about Deborah Vance until he watched Hacks. And I had to explain to him that like Deborah Vance isn't real. Also, we were writing season 3 of Hacks on Zoom, so I had to be like in my little like villa like for most of the day, just like zooming in and being like, this person said this to me today, and then like would hurry to the pool on my lunch break to like try to get tan. And it was a really wild, it was an interesting demographic. It was like, what I learned at the resort is the same company does resorts and cruises, and I had friends like Joel Kim Booster had done the cruises, and I had seen they really feel like kind of nightclubby, like whatever. And so I was like, that's what I'm walking into. And what I learned at the resort is that there was really a cultural divide between what they called resorts people and cruises people. And there was some overlap, and those people were kind of caught between worlds. And it was like the resorts people, it was like more laid back, older, and like less of them. So the resort wasn't super full, but there were 2 theme parties every day, one like at tea and one at night, and people went all out for like both of them, but to the point where I was like, how much luggage did you bring? Because they were like fully realized like LED display costumes, two for 7 days, and then it all culminated in the white party at the end of the week. And like literally it was like prom. It felt like straightening your hair in the mirror being like, I can't believe it's already the white party. Like what do you think's gonna happen? Like it was really fun.
I know you're a big Survivor fan.
I am.
You were talking about how there's 2 types of people. Like there are people for whom Parvati, there are people who were closeted watching Survivor for whom Parvati like was a pivotal figure.
Did I say that? I'm full of shit.
And then there are also and then there are gays who never watched Survivor, and then they watched it in the pandemic.
Yes.
And now they're interviewing Parvati.
I said that? Wow.
Well, you said now they're hanging out with Parvati, to which I interpreted.
Yes.
To which I read between the lines, like, oh, these must be podcasters who got in to Survivor, and now they got an interview with Parvati.
One thing I think that one thing I can work on is a need to gatekeep, and I think everyone should be welcome to whatever relationship they would like to have with Parvati Shallow. And Parvati was so important to me.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I've never seen a season that she's been on.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to you for advice here.
Yeah.
So I've only seen the first 3 seasons.
Okay.
Jerry Manthe, very important to me.
Yes, she comes back.
So I've seen All Stars. I've seen
She
her
comes back again.
and Heroes and Villains, all because of Jerry Manthe.
Okay, so Parvati's in Heroes vs. Villains.
I think I only was watching the Jerry Manthe scenes.
Oh my God. Okay, so you have to. There's an iconic moment that involves both Parvati and Jerry. That really was like, wow, Parvati is really something. Though it's interesting, Parvati gets a lot of credit for Micronesia, which is, spoiler alert, the season that she won. But if you go back and watch Micronesia, it really is like Suri Field's season. Like she plays the best game by far, and she gets absolutely screwed over by production. And now Suri's having such a moment because she won the Traitors and she was on Big Brother this summer.
Yeah.
But Parvati is just, there's just something about her. Like she's gorgeous. And like, I remember this episode in early Heroes vs. Villains where someone like came to her and they're like, they're all coming for you. And I remember being so scared, like, oh my God, she's going to get voted out early. And she like didn't even flinch. And she was like, I've been in sticky situations before. And it was like so like thrilling. And then she got out of it.
So I'll watch Micronesia. What other seasons should I watch?
It's tricky. I'm a completionist by nature, so it's.
But that's so much television to get through.
I know, but there's so much time before we die, isn't there?
Mm.
I don't know. I always say like I think Pearl Islands is a good one, an early season, because the game evolves so much that I think it's hard to jump around, not chronologically, because like there's things that get introduced to the game like bit by bit. So like Pearl Islands is a good one where you meet some people and also some of the best seasons involve returning players. And I think like Cook Islands is one where it's like a lot of people on Cook Islands go on to like play again in really good seasons. Mm-hmm. But Cook Islands itself isn't a very good season. So, but I always say watch Cook Islands. So I would watch Pearl Islands, Cook Islands, China. And then I think you probably could get away with like going to Micronesia. I do think you should watch Samoa even though it's a bad season, because then I think that will affect how you watch Heroes vs. Villains. And then Heroes vs. Villains kind of ends a chapter of Survivor in a way.
What other Bravo do you watch? Like, do you watch like Summer House?
I do watch Summer House, but often with Summer House, and I can't watch Summer House piecemeal. Like, I need to fully immerse myself in the house. So, like, I wait for a bunch of episodes to be built up. So I haven't watched any of the new Winter House. And also, like, I'm like, if it feels like it's going to be too, like, Austin-y, then I don't watch it.
He's not around anymore.
Perfect.
He's not around anymore.
I can't have too much Austin in my life. But I'm watching the current Southern Charm, and I actually think it's a good season of Southern Charm. There are early Summer Charm seasons that are so painfully good. Like, probably season 1 is charming. Then seasons, like, 2 through 4 are really good. And this, like, because it's, like, kind of dark, like... You know, Catherine Calhoun Dennis, who's like 21, is like getting literally pregnant by like Thomas Ravenel. And it's like, what is it? It's just like feels real. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is not, they didn't produce this pregnancy. Do you know what I mean?
How do you feel about the Lindsay and Carl? She just did like her first long interview with Nicky Viall.
Oh, really?
Where like she sort of like, I don't understand. How did Tom Sandoval get away? Did he just go rogue and do that interview with Howie Mandel?
Yeah.
Like, why was Lindsay Hubbard allowed to do the Nick Viall thing? The show isn't even airing right now.
I know.
You're taking all the air out of it.
Yeah, wait, I don't even know what she said.
She basically walked through what led up to them filming, calling them back to film, and ending the relationship, calling off the wedding.
I didn't know that happened.
What?
I didn't know that. I really do with Bravo. I try to.
You don't know Lindsay and Carl broke up?
Not till this moment.
I'm
no.
breaking.
You're breaking it. When did it happen?
You know what? I know where I was. It happened over Labor Day or the week after Labor Day.
Wow. So because like when it's not on, like I don't read like the blogs. That's one thing about Bravo. I just was talking to someone about this. Like, it's like, tell me the story of like on the show, and I don't need to hear about who's mad at who, like behind the scenes. Like I don't need to know that. Like, I'm kind of like, you as a Bravo producer, you film this and then you tell me what the story is and I will listen to your story, and that is what's fun for me. Like, I don't need to hear too much more. Do you know what I mean? And
then hear them do an expose on a podcast, which is going to fill in all of the gaps.
Totally.
I hate that also.
Yeah. So I had no idea, but I'm also not on the blogs. I'm not like, I don't follow Bravo accounts. Like, yeah.
I can't believe that another Summer House fan in your life didn't discuss this with you.
I don't have a lot of Summer House fans in my life. Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because in some ways, I like am really over Housewives. I mean, I'll continue to watch some of the ones that I really am attached to. But for me, Vanderpump and Summer House like still feel fresh.
Totally. Vanderpump to me has got it.
Do you think they will win the Emmy?
No.
For Best Reality Program?
Who else is nominated?
Ooh. Okay. The Bravo Unscripted series, nominated for Outstanding Unstructured Reality Program, will face off against fellow nominees. Here are the nominees.
Okay.
The nominees are, and you're going to tell me who wins.
Okay.
Deadliest Catch, Life Below Zero, never heard of it.
Never heard.
RuPaul's Drag Race, Untucked, Welcome to Wrexham, and Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, yeah, I guess Vanderpump will win.
Vanderpump's winning.
Is it new that they split up structured and unstructured?
No.
Who won that last year? Like, who wins that?
I feel like Untucked wins it every year.
Well, I feel like Drag Race wins it often, but I don't think Untucked wins it. I can't see them being like, Untucked, you get an Emmy. Wow. They probably will, I guess. I don't know if we need separate categories for competition reality and regular reality.
Say that one more time.
I don't think there should be separate categories.
For
I think Vanderpump Rules should be up against like Survivor or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I don't know how nitty gritty we need to get in like the reality Emmy world.
Have you ever looked at the Grammy nominations? What those these award shows are nothing but nitty gritty.
I can honestly say I've never looked at the Grammy nominations. I'm not really a music person. I love Taylor Swift, but I don't really follow music, and I don't even know how to do Spotify. I literally couldn't tell you how to do it.
When you were in high school,
yeah,
who was your number one pop? Like in the Kelly Clarkson, Lady Gaga.
I've never been a Lady Gaga person. Though I respect what she does up there. I just never knew, like, I think music, I was so unsure of who I was, and I never developed in high school, I truly think, like a core identity, because I was like always trying to project because of being closeted, honestly. And so I didn't, like, music felt like such a tell of, like, you know what I mean? I never would have went on record liking a musician. So I don't know. Like, I did not buy a CD for the entirety of high school. I like, my friends liked The Strokes, so I was like, yeah, I like them. You know what I mean? It was like, whatever.
I have a prescription that's going to solve all of your life's problems.
What?
You're going to buy it on Amazon, Madonna Truth or Dare.
Really?
This is going to change your life.
Why?
Because it's going to combine many things that you like.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I will.
It's going to combine your love of real reality TV.
Yeah.
Because this is pre-Real World.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This was filmed.
Real World was huge for me.
What were your favorite seasons of The Real World?
Well, New Orleans was probably the best. And then, I mean, I was like in 8th grade, I think, for Chicago. So that was big for me. And then, like,
I loved Chicago too. Anissa.
Anissa is still like a huge part of my life because she's still competing on The Challenge.
I've never watched The Challenge.
It's so good. It's on. It has changed so much, but there's so many versions of it now. Like, but now there's like a Paramount Plus Challenge All Stars where they bring back truly older people. Like Coral is going on the next season. So, like, back to New York, I like Paris was big for me because, like, Leah, who was on Paris, her brother went to my high school.
Okay.
So that was huge, and she was at his graduation, and he was 2 years above me.
Isn't it crazy that Karamo was on Philadelphia?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I'll always remember it coming out. Everyone was like, "Can you believe Philadelphia's having 2 gays on it?" But Karamo didn't come out in the season like till late. But you knew there was another gay person, and I really assumed it was Landon. And then it wasn't. It was Karamo.
Madonna Truth or Dare.
I will watch it.
You've never watched it?
No.
This is going to change your life.
Okay, cool. Oh, good.
It was filmed. It covers the Blonde Ambition tour, which is the most important concert of our generation.
Yeah.
And it's going to teach you about life.
Okay,
it's going to teach you about love. It's going to teach you about your gay elders.
Yeah. I will watch it. I'm searching for something right now, and I don't know what.
The music is going to pulsate through your body.
I can't wait to be pulsated through. I really have no relationship with Madonna. She's never spoken to me. I don't know what I liked in high school. I literally was trying to guess what other people liked and like that thing. What's wrong with me?
I love you so much.
Thank you so much. I love you too.
This has been really fun.
I hope I was funny and not just like emo.
No.
Okay, good.
It was a beautiful blend.
Okay, good.
Tell everybody where they can follow you. Do we know when Hacks has come back?
No, I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. I know that I think they're back up shooting, so that's good. Spring, summer, to quote Sheree Whitfield.
And I heard a rumor you are writing a book.
Oh, I should be. I'm supposed to be. I'm struggling. But I am writing a book, a collection of humor essays. But I don't know when that will come out. I'm really in the weeds with it, and it's really scaring me.
When's your next deadline?
Not for a long time.
Okay.
But like, there's like mini deadlines that have come and gone.
Maybe Truth or Dare will inspire you.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.